Land and Water Conservation Fund.
I heard rumor that you guys might, the lines might
140.
be getting released, so I'm not sure. I haven't heard positive.
They've been saying that for 6 months.
Well, it sounded a little bit more positive, but, because that lady called, I guess, and she had some, they had some extra funding.
Not so much.
Are you streaming right now?
I am streaming right now.
Okay.
I have not heard from Councilman Murgy yet.
I'm Tom.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Kathy, would you sign in for us, please?
I have to get out my loaded pen.
All righty,
Keep your britches on.
that I can do. That's on their end.
You bet.
It's enough to,
Yeah, I know what comes. I think it's 27.
I don't even know where that's at, some 5-1 something road.
Now, do you have a letter that goes with this for Jeff to put in the legal notice?
We already did that. Yeah, I just
What's
forgot
that?
to do that.
Yeah. Okay,
I think I got that like 2 months ago.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did that already. I should probably go check. I'm pretty sure.
My brain is.
I should check. I'll check,
My brain,
because maybe I didn't.
pretty sure I'm down on Alzheimer's.
Oh, if we can go together, no. Because I'm so right there with you. I will check, make sure.
It right.
And then I'll email it to you.
It's loaded.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't get the pay request, so that will,
Okay.
I could put it on there just in case, but.
so the sweet estimate, right? The land development.
That's where Sarah's 7,500 is supposed to help with our zone.
Yeah.
Sarah Converse, if she ever writes it.
Mhm. We what? You're 5:30 now?
I do.
Good evening, everybody. It is 5:30 PM and we will call the city council meeting for August 16th to order. Those present will stand in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda this evening would be to reopen the public hearing on ordinance 317, the building code updates. Jody, did we receive any additional comments through the city
We did not.
since our last meeting? Okay. Any additional comments from Kathy or Mel?
About this?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Hearing none, I will move to close. I will close our meeting on ordinance number 317 for the updated building codes, which will take us to item 2. At this time, I will open our public hearing on the fiscal 2023 budget and the fiscal 2023 assessments. This public hearing will stay open through our next meeting of the 6th of September for people to comment on. Those who would like to have a copy of this year's proposed budget may do so by reaching out to City Hall. We can email it to you if you'd like, or you can swing by and grab one so it is available for you to look at. I would tell you that this year's one mill is worth $2,247.87, which is slightly up from last year.
What was that, Chris?
2247.87. Okay. And I thank Jody and Tom I thank Jody mostly, but Tom for taking stuff off Jody's desk so Jody and I could get the budget whipped together and propose for you folks. It's interesting as I look from the 21-22 to the 22-23 for $100,000 value home with 4 lots, you're actually going to see a decrease of about $1.47. If you're a $50,000 value home on 3 lots, you'd see about a $2.50 decrease. For a $200,000 valued home on 4 lots, you'd see an increase of about 5 cents. Total. Yeah. Street lighting went down by 50 cents. Everything else remains static. And to be honest, I don't know what Northwestern Energy is going to do with electrical bills come fall. So we played it rather conservative and rolling it back until we can see what comes from it. If what we're being told is out there, we're going to be looking at some increases on natural gas as well as electricity come fall time. So
Because that's what they're using the Public Service Commission, right, for a 25% increase in electricity, like a 7% increase in natural gas.
natural gas, yeah. And supposedly, Mel, the majority of that rate increase is not for the cost of energy, it's to recoup taxes and other costs that are allowed to pass back through directly to the end user. So I saw something where it said an average bill would go up. $150 bill would now become closer to $190. So, and a $15 electric bill would be closer to $18. So I am neglected in doing my homework enough on that part of it to figure out what it is, but it doesn't look to bode well for us, for electrical and utilities this fall and into the winter.
I think it's worth calling out the pool.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
So Chris, just jumping back to the budget, then did you guys build in an increase?
Yeah, probably not as,
In what?
but I increased from what we budgeted or what we spent last year, and then, but I also took the last couple of months that seemed to be higher, it kept going up and took it times 12. So it was, at that time, it was just today that I heard that, or yesterday that Chris told me that it was going to be quite that much. During this time, I may go back and take a harder look at that.
Same with our fuel.
Yeah.
But with fuel, I took, like for the garbage, I took the last month, which it was as high as it had ever been, and multiplied that times 12. So it's a whole lot more than it was last year.
Yeah,
But there might be, between the preliminary budget and the final budget, we need to bump up parts of the budget that are affected by electric.
oh, yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
As we look at our general fund expenditures and against our general fund revenue, the two largest line items on our expenditures for fiscal budget year 2023 are law enforcement and the swimming pool. But the swimming pool is skewed significantly. They are the two line items that show with better than $100,000 of expenditures. But in the swimming pool, $139,446 of that is a combination of a land conservation wildlife fund grant and the Lions Club's contribution. So each of them have provided for the year $69,223 in match from the Lions Club, and then the $69,223 from the the Land Conservation Wildlife Fund. And these are for the renovations at the tennis courts and such right over here. Law enforcement, again, is our other largest, truly our other largest expenditure, and it is what it is, because there's no way we could go out for a police force for what we have without, we'd have to go back to the public and ask for a levy to fund a police department, and I'm not sure that I want to do, I don't think I have the stomach for that, and I don't think the city of Choteau has a stomach for that right now, because it would be a
Chris, they're an automatic, you did bump up 3%.
3%, yeah.
That's part of the contract.
Yeah, that's part of our contract. And I did reach out to Keith, and we chatted about it, and he was happy with the way things are going and things like that. His concerns are our concerns as well, maintaining quality employees, making sure he's got a fully staffed department, not only on the enforcement side, but on the dispatch side as well. I would hope that people out there would have any questions, would reach out, come see me, come to City Hall, grab a copy, and I'd be glad to walk you through them. Again, it's as conservative as we can be. There are some other things that were possibly on the plate we could have looked at, but I don't see the point, to tell you the truth. We are progressing nicely. We're maintaining, we're growing. We had $61,000 in new taxable growth this year on the books. So,
That's the new tax.
yeah, new taxable growth.
I can send you that form if you want.
Overall, I think it's about $9,000 higher
That we actually
revenue wise than what it was last year. So, and everything is more expensive.
Not going away.
No, what's that?
Rates.
Oh, for the,
Garbage and water.
yes. We know that we're going to be looking at rate increases for water as part of the water delivery project that's going out. We're gonna have our pre-bid on that on 25 August, and we will open bids on September 7th for that project. Garbage rates, we're going to have to look at an increases as well, again, as North Montana Joint Refuge Disposal District increased their rates by 20%, if I'm not mistaken, Mel. So that in turn passes back down to us, and we're going to have to do some revenue searching on that and look at things there.
Most of it's fuel.
Yeah, again,
I mean,
most of it's fuel.
Their rate increases are gonna be half as much as that it's fuel.
And the downside to that again is we have a diesel garbage truck, and unlike many larger communities, that truck idles around town and does not get out on the highway a whole lot to get the system blown out. and get the DEF cleaned out of it. So we end up having issues with our DEF system. And we have to maintain the DEF system because of federal things like that. And a gas truck is just not feasible for what they want, what we do. 90% or better of all garbage trucks in the country are diesel powered. So we're gonna have some issues there. And when we look at garbage rates, we're gonna have to look at a couple different tiers, I guess you might say, on how we want to go about doing that. So as Jody and I get into that a little bit farther down the road, we'll give people a heads up because they will have to go through a public hearing again as well. But the $11 we're looking at now is not going to continue to cut it for a while, for much longer. What's that? I still don't have Councilman Howard yet.
He's not coming up.
I mean, Councilman Merja. So as long as we have the public hearings, we're all right without having a quorum, but we can't move to an action item until I have a quorum. And Councilman Merja was closing at the bank, and then he said he would be here as quick as he possibly could. I'm going to ask Steve, are you going to be out of state?
I'm not.
I'm going to leave the state, God willing, and the river don't rise, from September 2nd to September the 5th to attend a friend's wedding in Jackson's Gap, Alabama. And I'll return prior to our meeting on the 6th, which is our next scheduled council meeting. And then I will leave 3 days later after that one again to go to DC for the American Cancer Society Cancer Day of Action. So we'll go from there. Again, without going to action items, I'm going to go ahead and read some reports just to keep things moving. Devon's report for month of July shows 13 traffic stops, 5 citations, 11 warnings, 0 arrests for that month. City court, three criminal cases, 3 misdemeanors, 4 cases altogether, 2 disorderly conducts, an assault and a stop sign. Jody, your list of things is.
Until we get done with the budget, there will be anything to report.
Yeah. Mike's report in here. Mel, this is the stuff we should probably provide to Peter Frisch.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, wow, again. Inflow and flow into is down to about 300 and some thousand gallons. Wastewater treatment plant maintenance, all the pumps, service all the pumps and mixers for the year. We hope to complete the drying and pumping of sludge by the 19th of August 19, and then we will get all of that hauled to North Montana Joint Refuge Disposal District by the 26th. Several sewer main repairs and service repairs and brought 1 new residence and 1 new business into the service since the last report. And the new business is the dollar store came online, and there's a new residence on the southwest side of town. Water tests have all come back good. Water loss again remains high, though it's difficult to quantify with the summer usage. Several repairs. 1 recent repair was significant. Today they were out on Main Street doing a repair on a service line as well. July we pumped 16,392,000 gallons and metered 99.4 million. So we had about a 42% loss, which is less than what we've had the previous months. New water meter reading antennas have been constructed and is online, and new meters are, pardon the pun, trickling in as the supply chain is allowed. And crews are out installing new meters currently, and it will be a very long process, folks, because they are literally coming in a handful at a time. Strangely, neighbor, the day after my sprinkler system gets hooked into city water, I got a new water meter.
Nice.
So folks need to know that we will be calling out to a lot of you because a great number of folks in Choteau have their water meters in their crawl spaces or in their basement. And we have to have access to those to get in there to get those meters changed. So Yesterday, I was over to let BJ into my crawl space, and Colin was on the outside as they were drilling through and wiring the new meter in as well. So we asked for a little bit of cooperation, a little bit of understanding as we, what we thought we would be pushing through is going to be a limping along process. But in and of the same, it's going to save us literally thousands of dollars by not having to have somebody else come do it. Especially at the rate that the meters are coming in. Councilman Merge is here. There will be no chip sealing this year due to costs. We'll do some,
There's a packet.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we'll be doing some patchwork, some milling, and some small areas that we'll get caught up with. And if we can find some highway paint to purchase, we will be repainting parking lines on Main Street around the parking, around the post office and City Hall this month. Reaching out to the Department of Transportation, they're no longer going to do our stripes or painting on Main Street. And yeah, we center line only in the crosswalks, which they did today. But parking spots are no longer going to be marked. So
So that means we can go to parallel parking on Main Street?
yeah, something like that. Mike was looking into, yesterday spent a great deal of time looking into what it would take for the city to do that. And strangely, most of that stuff is not available for 18 months to 2 years to get in stock. Parks crews have been assisting with the construction of the bandstand on the east side of the pavilion, and it's coming along nicely, very nicely. Last year, we constructed a permitted composting site for leaves and grass. Our first patch of compost is near complete. And it, as Mike says, for our first run, it looks pretty good. Compost will be available soon. Next week, we hope to establish a pile in town near the city shop where people can come help themselves. And if they want a large amount, we can work with them to help get it delivered with a small dump truck for nominal fee. Rest of the time, we have their nominal tasks of water shutoffs, meter repairs, water sampling, wastewater sampling, garbage collection, tree trimming, line locates, assistance with service lines issue, and mechanical repairs. One of the things that we've come up with is we do our water samples and they have to go to Helena. And you can't depend on the US Postal Service anymore to get things done in a timely fashion. We were mailed our samples on, according to the tag, the shipping tag, the 3rd of August. We did not get them on the 3rd of August. I actually drove to Helena and picked them up last Wednesday because they had to be back by Thursday. And then when I came back that Wednesday, in the mail was the box. So we're gonna have to, there are other communities within radiuses similar to ours that are just driving them now, figuring out a way to get it done, so. All right, with that, and with Councilman Merja here, you now have a quorum. And I would go back to the main agenda and I would ask for,
We're not gonna close the hearing.
no, the hearing on the budget stays open through the next meeting, so people have time to comment.
But you did close the public hearing on
Yes, sir.
317?
Yep. Because that was not an action item that required a quorum.
Okay.
Councilman Kokoli, questions on the budget or wrap your brain around it, we'll talk.
No, I'm good.
Okay,
I talked to Jody today with the questions I had and she had some things up front. So no, I'm good.
okay. I would take a motion to approve the minutes from the city council meeting of 2 August.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilman D and a second from Councilman Merja. Sorry, Councilwoman Kokoli.
Okay.
There's a delay on there.
Yeah, there's a delay. Any changes or additions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? We will get them approved. Councilman Kokoli or Councilman Merge, are you out of state?
No.
Okay, I will let you know I'm out September 2 through 5.
I am going to miss the events this weekend, though.
Okay.
We had family come into town for their yearly visit and we spend time with them. So
Perfect.
we will be out of town this weekend, unfortunately.
Okay. First item on new business would be vote on resolution ordinance number 317, the adoption of the updated building codes.
So moved.
I'll
I had a
second.
motion from Councilman Merja and a second from Councilman D. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll get that signed and out the door tomorrow. Item number 2, vote on an authorization to place delinquent water and garbage charges on the property taxes. In your packet, there is a list asking for $3,009.28 on property taxes for delinquent water and or garbage charges. And the amount may drop if the account holders pay before the taxes are submitted.
I so move.
A second.
I have a motion from Councilman D
Mhm.
and a second from Councilman Cocoli. Questions? I got a question. How long does it take before we put somebody on there?
Once a year we get to do that.
Mhm.
So, okay, I'm trying to figure,
People pay within 60, 90, 120 days. These people are closer to like a year that they don't pay.
Some of it's just become, that's what we do.
That's what they do.
I struggle with that.
Well,
Once those go on the property taxes, can we collect them separately like we do when we have people sell houses and I call from the title company and we collect those at closing?
oh, because it's actually on the property. tax.
Okay, so you can't break those out. Once they're on there, they're on there.
Right, right.
That's what I was curious about, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we can't because it's actually part of that tax statement then.
Right.
So they, but most of the time at a closing, you pay those
You
taxes.
have to pay the taxes anyway, so. yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
and, you know, we only can write off to the end of June, truly. So some of these people have already have delinquent tax,
July,
delinquent amounts already. And we, you know, we do get to put on their late fees and any of those fees are on those property
And
taxes.
so 3,000 divided by about 40 divided by 12, how many people are we talking about?
6, 7.
6, 7.
In your illustrious career, have you ever shut the water off? Has that water ever been shut off on somebody?
Yes. In the time I've been on the council, I can think of a handful of times.
So it does prove difficult sometimes depending on the location. Not everyone has a curb stop and some of those meters are on the inside of the house.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So it's not easy to just turn someone off.
But we, you know, unfortunately, this is what has to happen.
Yeah, I understand wholeheartedly. I just struggle with that.
One, like you say, some of them, this is just they pay once a year. And how many is that? You say that's 6 or 7?
2.
2, okay.
Okay,
Well, and to, maybe I'm opening a can of worms here, but if everybody was on city water, would it change the way we do this?
no,
No, we'd still have to do it this way?
yeah,
Okay,
This is MCA.
okay.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if this was the non-negotiable or not.
This is what happens. This is our,
It's our only mechanism.
it's our only mechanism if they can't get them to pay.
And it's surprising me because as it goes to some of these taxes, the house payment increases.
And, you know, even if we shut their water off, that only shuts off their usage. That does not shut off their waste rate.
Yep.
Doesn't shut off their garbage. They're still getting those charges. So
Mhm.
they're still
Yep.
working.
Okay. Now, any questions? No. Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
Opposed? Get them done, Tom. Item 3 would be to approve the T-bids FY 2023 work plan.
I so move.
a second.
I have a motion from Councilman D and a second from Councilman Cocoli.
Doesn't look like there's a ton of substantial changes, right? You guys are doing the.
It is larger this year because we didn't spend the full budget last year.
Yeah.
So I basically took what was still in the coffers and added the projected about $10,000 of new income for this year's budget. But we have some plans on some new brochures, some advertising. So
And you're collaborating with Port Authority and Chamber and.
working with,
Mhm.
yeah, part of the budget goes towards the Port Authority and down with our community coordinator.
Yeah.
And The other half of the budget would be if anyone applies for event funding.
I mean, you guys do good work. I'm not gonna, by any means, I'm appreciative that the money's there and people have access to it if they need at it, want at it.
So are we finding that that more people are traveling or more people are stopping through? I mean,
It is back up compared to a couple of years.
It's about 2019.
I guess that was what I was asking is what does it look like compared to pre-COVID?
Good.
I would tell you the phone calls we get here indicate that more people are traveling. I mean,
I can tell you from the dinosaur center, the numbers that we get in the museum and people on dates. I mean, yeah,
I've
it's.
been here in the Ukraine meetings at night, and the phone rings with people asking questions about the campground.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Cool. Good. Now we just need to get our geolocation. And I don't even know what it is, but I'm sick and tired of when I add a new device, getting asked if I'm near Shelby,
I know, I get the same thing.
and I don't know how to fix that.
We can talk.
Yeah, because mine does it too. Every time I pull something up, you are near Shelby, Montana. It's Apple.
It's vision net.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, good job, T-Bid. Item 4, vote on MJRDD board appointment for Councilman Merja,
I so moved.
and you may Zoom.
Okay, they're gonna have to be Zoom.
Yep,
And if,
and if you cannot, I will do my best to Zoom on your behalf.
thank you.
If I can Zoom them, I will go. I will do my best to make it happen.
They're 10 o'clock Thursdays.
Yep,
Second,
I have a motion from Councilman D and a second from Councilman Cocoli.
Do I get to vote on this?
Yes, you get a vote on this, because even if you don't, you're outnumbered. Mel, it's a good thing. Truly is. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, welcome aboard. Item 5 was a pay request from Bowling Construction Wastewater. We did not get that, so we're going to scratch that and vote on 5, which would be claims. It's just spelled incorrectly. It says Bowling.
I move that we pay the claims.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilman Merja and a second from Councilman D.
And if we need to do an email for them, then we can.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Okay.
It's, something we have to do. We didn't get them done until today, so we instead of emailing. we
Yeah.
just-
We don't need to mark it on the agenda or anything, right?
No. Those in favor of paying the bills?
Aye.
Aye.
We will get the bills paid. We went through some reports earlier because
Okay.
they were not action items. So Councilwoman Cocoli, let's hear about what's happening downtown across the street from your office behind that fence.
Let's see, Mr. Beeler had Mr. Goodman out there killing some weeds on that mountain dirt behind that fence.
They were pumping concrete this morning. I think they were pouring foundations, or I think the footings were in. I think they were pouring foundations. So
Are you talking? over
Looking
at
forward to the day when they can set that building on top of that. I want to see that, how that happens. It's gonna be amazing.
I'm willing to buy tacos if it's on a Tuesday night for the crew
I'm in.
to watch that, or whatever night it may fall on. Yeah.
I wish them all the best. I think we should have our city council meeting there as the first event that they hold in their
I
new
would-
establishment.
Oh, man. Sir, are you having any issues with water at your house? On your pumps, your wells?
Bits, yeah.
Because I know farther west of us, Roberges are having issues with it. He said he's having issues. And the folks that are next to Gebhardt's are having issues. And my.
It always happens to us this time of year. Like, if we try to, we catch stuff in the screens on the faucets and that kind of thing.
Yeah, my one under my house is useless right now, and the one in back I can pull dry. So on my sand points, and that's why I decided to put my sprinklers on the city water. But I just was curious if there are other folks out there in any part of the town that are having issues with their sand points right now. We'd like to know.
It's pretty common this time of year, I think, and especially with as dry as it's been.
Anything else in you, people hitting you up in your world?
No,
Councilman D?
Got three things for you. Lions Club is selling trip of the month tickets.
Already
Our
got my
first
non-winning
drawing-
ticket?
Our first drawing for the new 2022-2023 starts next month, so contact any Lions Club member or visit our website, choteaulions.club to buy a ticket. This is an interesting one. First time we're trying this. We're offering a 25% discount at the Dinosaur Center for Montanans.
Saw that.
If anyone wants to go on a dinosaur dig and has not had the opportunity, I highly encourage you to do it. It's a lot of fun. This is a really good discount. This is the biggest discount we ever offered on them for like a regular dig, not a school group or something like that. So it's a big opportunity to go out and see what they do, really work on real live fossils and real dinosaur bones. Well, not fossilized dinosaur bones, but it's a pretty cool experience. And then finally, I just found out tonight that if you have kids who are preschool age 3 to 5, Trinity Lutheran Church wants to hear from you for their preschool. They need kids to enroll. And so if you are thinking about it, reach out to Julian Graham at the church, at the preschool and get that enrollment in soon because they're a little worried about their numbers. So please do so. Thank you.
Councilman Merja?
I am going to, I know I'm gonna open a can of worms on this one, but dogs,
Woo-hoo.
let's be neighborly. I mean, if you don't want my dog in your yard, don't have your dog in mine. And I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but it seems like the last couple of months, I've had a lot of people talking to me about it. And while I haven't had as many in mind, the number of people in my area talking to me has been more than I think ever in the 12 years I've been on the council. So let's, you know, and it isn't just dogs, it's being neighborly, period. Let's be neighborly. You know, there are a lot of new people in town. Let's go back to making each other cookies. When you notice somebody new, knock on the door with a plate of cookies. And worst case scenario, you leave them on the porch. That being said, my cousin from Northern California just left today, but she was very impressed with what is in Choteau, what people are doing with their shops and with their, with what's available. And she also has a long train ride plus boat ride over the next couple months, and she has agreed to think of, you know, what she thinks is missing, just as an outsider's opinion, somebody who likes this kind of thing. And but she was very complimentary. She said, we have a cute little town and it's fun what's here. So other than that, I do have a question for Jody or maybe Tom. Well, it's Jody because it's claims. I should have asked it then, but how often do we do sludge disposal?
Once or twice a year.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought. I hadn't remembered seeing it on the claims and then it was on this time and that made me think of it.
Yeah,
So-
it'll be on, probably on the next one too.
I think it's early spring and
They're
late,
still dry.
late summer
Okay.
as it dries out in the spring and then it dries out through the summer.
Okay,
I was
And-
looking through claims earlier tonight and I saw them twice a year and you brought that up.
when I probably need to ask Mike this question, but I'm curious how much we have.
Last time was 4 dump truck loads.
Yeah, when it
For
dries really.
Right.
condensed.
And then Kevin
That I do.
drives it up,
Because-
delivers it and comes back and does it.
So we have 4 that 10-yard
Yeah.
trucks and that's for 6 months?
Yep.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really not a lot.
No, it's really not. I just compared to, so when we went, so Dan Lannon, Jack Knatzer, Levi Wareheim and I went and visited, I think 4 facilities before we built this one. And Manhattan produced almost twice that much in a 6-month period.
We use, and I can't remember buy something from a place in Boulder, and for the life of me, because you're asking, I can't think of exactly what it is, but anyway, that helps with drying and the
Condensing of it.
condensing.
Mhm.
And that, I know, that's all I can tell you, because I just paid the bills.
Yeah, it's an agent that causes it to shrink down and degrade, not degrade, but yeah.
And I can tell you where we buy it, but I
Mhm.
cannot tell you exactly.
What it is.
Okay, I think that's it for me.
From my desk, I had another dog bite last week. It was been turned over. It was handled by the police
It
department.
wasn't Kathleen
Sure.
again, was it?
Nope.
Okay.
It's handled by the sheriff's department, and it was reached out to them to see if they needed anything from me, went through their codes and made sure our codes matched up and they were taking care of it. It's heading to Jen's desk to figure out how she wanted to proceed with that. Dollar store's open. I've yet to be in there, but I've heard nothing but good reviews from folks who have been there. Note that the Alley Cat has been repainted, refurbished on the inside, new upholstery, new carpet, new paint, and they are now open as of yesterday for evenings and open bowling and weekend bowling, and they're gonna have a youth league for those young folks who want to get out there and bowl. Glad to see that out there. I can only echo what Councilman Merge had to say. Dogs are still the hottest topic on my desk right now. I had sat in on a meeting last Thursday with Senator Daines' staffers that were here with myself. Two commissioners were there. Commissioner Moran from Ponderay County, members of stock growers, wool growers, and some other organizations discussing, grizzly bears here along the mountain front. And potential issues, conflicts, things like that, what we're looking at long-term. Sat in on a housing Zoom meeting this morning that was put on by the Montana State University Extension Service. I listened to the majority of it, but I found out that what's happening here is happening everywhere.
Mhm.
It is not something that's just unique to Montana. It's happening in Montana. It's happening in North Dakota. It's happening in Nebraska. There really truly is no magic silver bullet to it. Governor Gianforte's housing subcommittee is working together right now to address things, and the deeper I delve into that, the more it looks like deregulation of Montana power, for lack of a better term. So I don't know what to expect as we get farther down the road on that. Zoning is on my priority list again. And thank Jody for getting me a whiteboard that I could remind myself what my priorities are. And I could turn over my shoulder and look, because I'm a man and you can squirrel me away from anything in a hurry, given the right situations. Mike and those guys, kudos to them today for being out on Main Street, getting the Fountain of Youth that sprouted up on Main Avenue Saturday morning taken care of in front of the Crabtree Building. We are trucking along nicely. Things are going as well as could be expected. Ed Bowling Construction is in the waning days of their project. As they've reached substantial completion, they're doing cleanup and putting things back together on the punch list that they had to do. As I said, water pre-bid is going out on 26th of August, with the bids to be open on the 7th of September in Helena. We're going to have them opened at Great West. We'll either Zoom in or I'll drive down there. And last but not least, tomorrow is birthday lunch and bring a friend to lunch at the senior center. So if you're going to go, reach out and let them know you're going. And it's a taco bar. So
I hope to make it.
Kathy, you got anything for us tonight?
Yes.
Please come on up, address the crowd.
I wanted to say I was delighted when I saw the crosswalk to the library today repainted.
We were surprised because they told us they weren't going to do that, and yet they showed up and did them.
And it was really nice to see that. And yes, I have noticed since I walk everywhere in this town that I've seen increase in traffic since 2019. It's been quite intense. There's a lot of Pennsylvania tags, as a matter of fact, that were just in this past weekend. A lot of Pennsylvania people. So I see all this stuff and walking, and I talk to people, they talk to me too, and I learn a lot when I'm walking along the way. It's not like being in a car closed up.
Mhm.
You hear and see things. Very good. The main reason I came is you got the grant for fixing up the old houses in Choteau.
We are, it's, yes,
9 months out.
Is it? 9 months?
Yeah,
Yes, because there's a house that's 1904 here in town that's away on vacation this week, and they asked me if I would ask about when the funds were gonna be distributed.
I would tell them to come see us so we can start collecting data and information on that, because it will
Yes,
come on a first come, first served basis.
Yes, is that how it goes?
Yes,
So come see you.
come see the city. Yeah,
The
we'll have the
city.
applications.
Will they go, you,
Yeah.
okay, Jody, that's what I wanted to know for
And that's
now.
specifically
But
what that
truly, I
program's
do
for.
not have anything for them yet.
But
No,
they can get on the list.
They can,
Yeah.
I can write their name down, that's all that I can do.
and that's important to get on that list.
Yes,
Yeah,
In that order.
Mhm.
yes.
yeah, but that's all I can do right now. We have to go through, I've got, and I'm the one that is administering this, and we gotta get to the budget first, but we have to do an environmental study. We've got quite a few.
There's a punch list.
There's red tape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of red
We're
tape.
approved for it, but we need, from our end, we have
The
to.
paperwork shuffle before we get to the point that we can actually do anything is probably 6 to 9 months.
I see,
Okay.
okay, 6 to 9 months then, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they can come in now and let me know, but
They're away this week, I'll tell them to come in right
Yeah.
away next week when they're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
We would rather have a list waiting than have a waiting list.
I bet.
and there's a lot to the application.
Is there?
Yeah.
How many pages?
I don't remember.
We won't know how many pages, but it's like, there's a credit check, there's you know,
There's a
there's
lot of
procedural stuff that we'll have to
Low
do.
income.
So
Yeah.
it's very. it's
There's
low
income levels and stuff.
And it's basically, it's not just to remodel your house, it's for energy efficiency and
Yes.
ADA,
ADA, things like that. So if.
There's
you know,
sideboards.
There's lots of criteria that.
This was for windows, Pella windows.
Yep.
I know that
That
they
would
wanted-
qualify because
Yeah,
that's
it-
winterization.
Yeah,
and
and
improvement.
it'll depend. There's lots of criteria that you have to meet, but you definitely.
Most of
need to
Choteau
know.
meets it.
They do,
Yeah.
good, I can tell them that.
Yep.
But they thought maybe they'd get around $40,000 or so.
That would be the maximum. amount.
That's the
Yeah,
maximum.
very
Max,
Mhm.
okay. So that has to be determined individually.
Correct.
Okay,
And you can't do the work yourself. It will have
Yeah.
to be done by the contractors that will be within the pool of people that are hired. It all has to
Yeah.
go through those. hoops.
License
It can't
round.
be somebody that just wants the 40,000 and do the work themselves.
Yeah.
okay. So it's local contractors that will do.
We
the
are
work?
hoping
That's
our
what we're
local
hoping for.
contractor pool can handle it.
Sure, absolutely.
When they
And
get back, have them reach out to me.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yes,
have them do that. I'll have a cup of Joe with them.
you will,
Yes, ma'am.
all right.
Okay.
Well, the other thing I wanted to discuss was in the state of Montana, I had a little map from the Montana Senior News about those that approved the Montana marijuana and those that didn't, the majority.
We
And
are
it
a
was-
red county.
Yeah, it was, yes, exactly. And it was an interesting little map. I don't know, did you see this?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
In the Montana Senior News. And, well, it's 27 counties, I can see almost half.
Yeah, about a 50-50 split.
Yes, and the other thing is, it really doesn't stop anything in any county that voted against it.
It just stops the sale of it.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That does it.
Yeah, it does.
In the county, they can't sell it.
yeah.
They can bring it into.
Medical marijuana is still allowed. Recreational use marijuana is not allowed. And the sale of recreational use of marijuana is not allowed.
It's just the sale.
It's
You
Just the
go
sale.
out of
Yeah.
county,
Well, it's just the
purchase
sale,
it,
Yeah.
and taxation.
And
And
bring
bring
it
it back.
Yeah.
bring it back.
Yeah.
Use is allowed.
Yeah.
Not,
Purchasing is not.
we just
Yeah.
don't have any dispensaries in Teton County.
Right.
So in the ultimate end game, there's probably more usage of it
Yes,
than there has ever been before, but the sale of it in the county and the taxation of it in the county is prohibited.
I see the taxation, and there was a local option tax with some of those in blue there.
That it not had to be voted on by the community.
Yes. Well, you know, I've been at the Skyline since 2017. Okay. That's 5 years this beginning of August 1st. And there was a woman that had been smoking back in 2018 in the Skyline. But she had to get evicted because that's a federal building and it follows the federal rules.
Yes, it does.
And boom, she was out. But the woman that reported her that still lives there has a son in Choteau that does smoke pot,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting because she only reported that woman, but her son, it's okay, and it's not for medication or anything like that. And I thought, well, there's double standard.
Oh, there's
there,
huge double
always.
standard.
You
But
know,
we have no control over that at the city either. Is what-
No, exactly. So a lot of times what should be and what is two different things.
Yeah,
Yes, and I just thought I'd bring that up.
no, thank you for bringing that up. It's that adult, and I guess I gotta get used to calling it the correct term, recreational
Yes,
use marijuana. There's a big issue in Great Falls going on about it now. Great Falls is a green county, Cascade's a green county,
tis.
but the city of Great Falls has prohibited the sale of it within the city limits, and they are being sued to allow for it. And originally, when the law was written, the law had a clause in there that said, upon passage, you could not arbitrarily prevent these things, but that was stricken out of the law. So it's going to the voters of the city of Great Falls in November to decide whether or not they want the sale of it inside the city limits,
That's the only city in Cascade County that's done that.
as far as I know.
Just wondered.
It's the only incorporated town in
No,
Cascade County.
Cascade
Is
is,
Cascade incorporated?
there,
Cascade
is
is
a
going to
town.
be, Cascade is going to not have it as well.
But
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I just thought I threw
nope, thank you.
it out there.
thanks.
You're
I try to keep
welcome.
my fingers on the pot,
I tell you.
if not my smell.
Got the brownies there.
Exactly. Nope, not can do. That brings me one last thing. Shakespeare in the Park, August 28th, that's before our next meeting. Choteau Invitational Volleyball Tournament,
Same weekend.
26th, 27th, before our next meeting.
This weekend
Citywide
is
potluck this weekend on Saturday, as well as Ukraine Benefit Saturday as well. I have a meeting at 7 o'clock on that tonight to follow this one. So, school board tonight at 7 o'clock at the school as well. Lots going on.
We'll live stream that.
I am
You will
not
attempt
set-
to?
I am not set up to live stream it tonight. so
Okay.
I still haven't met with Rob.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how this meeting was gonna bump up against that meeting.
Mel, if I ever run a meeting that's over an hour and a half long, I would hope somebody beat me. She'd need that. if
Jody
she's
has
the game.
volunteered.
Jody has volunteered.
Get the
All in
win.
I
favor?
move to adjourn.
We're out of here. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you 6 September. Night, Sarah. Get some rest.
Hi, thank you.